which is parts of Greece. And I'm going to show you the geographical location in a second. That was the first time Esau was in Europe. So he sent a letter to his brothers to help him fight against the Africans, the Hamites. So now his brothers would have an entrance into Europe or Asia. Now, get what you're getting there. Let me show them this map here. I have a map here of Kittim. This little island right here next to Greece that my finger's on. That is the first time Europeans or Caucasians went into Europe. I'm telling you the time right now. It's in the 20th century BC. Is when they first started going into Europe. They did not start in Europe. Then they started moving their way up into different areas. Zepho called for his brethren to go into Europe, which is actually Asia, brothers and sisters. This is how they got into Europe. We are reading it. Read.
Joshua chapter 61 verse 12.
61 and 12. Read it.
And when Zepho the son of Eliphaz saw that Angeas despaired of going forth to battle with the Egyptians, Zepho fled from Angeas from Africa, and he went and came unto Kittim.
So he went from Africa and he fled into Kittim. That's the first time they went into Europe. This is how Esau's children went into Europe. And when they heard of a war of the Africans going against the Grecians, or in Kittim, then Esau sent a letter to his brothers in Mount Seir and say, listen, y'all have to come help me fight. Cunning hunter. Eventually the Europeans supplanted the Asians and started pushing them further into the areas you see today. And they really did this under Alexander the Great, or Alexander the Greek. That's when they was able to accomplish it. But what we're reading here is the beginning of Caucasian presence in Europe. See, you can't dispute these scriptures here. Now, there's more. There's more. The book of Daniel tells you about the beast that would come up. When you read Daniel 7, you had the Greek Empire under Alexander the Greek. After Alexander the Greek, you had 4 generals that came out of him. Then later on down the line, near 33 BC, you have what we would call the Roman Empire. These are all children of the Idumeans. So when you see the word Idumea in the Bible, it's talking about Edom. It's talking about the same people who will be ruling at the end of the world. Hope you follow me here. Now, that leads us to Antiochus and Epiphanes. Antiochus and Epiphanes, you're talking his time near about 100 and some odd years before Christ would come on the scene. He comes in. He destroys the temple. Before the temple is built again, he destroys the temple and starts setting up other nations within the temple in Jerusalem, leading to the Herodian dynasty, where Herod would circumvent and get a position over the Sanhedrin and become governor over our people. This is the first time you would have a European descent who was married to an Israelite over the children of Israel. That's the first occupation where you have another nation ruling over God's people during the time of Herod. What did Herod do? Herod sent the wise men to find Christ, to kill Christ. That's all. That's part of the war, brothers and sisters. They didn't want Christ to come into this earth. Why? Because Christ was going to give the promises that was told to Rebekah concerning Jacob. Think about this. You can't have the chosen king that's prophesied to come in and give all rule to the brother. So he wanted them dead. He killed all the children 2 years back. Once he found that the wise men did not want to follow his rule and bring Christ, Yeshua, to him to be slain. When he seen that he was mocked of the wise men, he killed all the children 2 years back. Let's go to Revelations 12. And start at the first verse.
Revelations chapter 12, verse 1.
Read.
And there appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun, and the moon under her feet, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars.
The 12 stars represents the 12 tribes of Israel. I know some people don't like us talking about the 12 tribes of Israel. Listen, no one was complaining about the Jewish people being from Israel, even though there was no proof they were from there. Now it comes out where the true children of Israel is being identified. We are being labeled racist. When they're not racist, with them being the chosen and everyone else being lost. What's wrong with that picture? The 12 stars represents the 12 tribes of Israel, and we're here to tell you that the people in Israel are actually the people fighting against Israel. And we're going to prove it. Read.
Verse 12. And she being with child cried, travailing in birth, and pain to be delivered. And there appeared another wonder in heaven.
There appeared another wonder in heaven. What's this wonder?
And behold, a great red dragon.
A great red dragon.
Having 7 heads and 10 horns.
The 7 heads represent the 7 mountains of Rome. The 10 horns represents the European powers that would come out of Rome. And you notice it says red dragon. Red, Esau, Edom. He ate the red pottage, and therefore his name was called Edom, red. To show you this beast or this empire would be the Edomites. Read.
Having 7 heads and 10 horns, and 7 crowns upon his head.
7 crowns upon his head. What is that showing you? That's showing you that these people would have dominion. Remember when Isaac told Esau that there's going to come a time where the yoke will be broke off of them and they would rule for a time? Now we're speaking of that time where these people would eventually get rulership in the earth. They're in their rulership now. They have their crowns now. If you don't believe me, just look at what's going on in Buckingham Palace. Who have the crowns on?
Verse 4.
Read a little louder.
And his tail drew the 3rd part of the stars of heaven, and did cast them down to the earth. And the dragon stood before the woman, which was ready to be delivered, for to devour her child as soon as it was born.
And we're talking about the war. As you can see, Herod wanted to kill the child before it was born, to show you he was working with the serpent. Who was Herod? He was an Idumean who infiltrated and became the governor over Israel. The Herodian dynasty were Edomites. They had Gentiles in the temple. Okay? And it's telling you right here that they wanted to devour the child before he was born. There go your war, brothers and sisters. Finish reading.
Verse 5. And she brought forth a man-child, who was to rule all nations with a rod of iron.
This is why they wanted to kill Christ. Because they knew it was through him the promises of Abraham would be fulfilled, and eventually Esau would lose his rulership. The Roman Empire, they would lose everything if they let this child come. They understood prophecy. Read.
And her child was caught up unto the Most High, and to his throne. And the woman fled into the wilderness, and where she hath a place prepared of the Most High, that they should feed her there 1,260 days.
When you look at 1,260, that comes down to 1,260 years. When you add that 1,260 years to the time we fell in 70 AD, it leads you up to the 1300s when the European powers and the Arabs found our golden city of Timbuktu. That's when they started planning to take us down and to enslave us. It took them some time, but they had to find us first. We were the great kings in Africa. We were the great kings who fled from the Roman emperors, knowing that they were looking to kill and destroy us. This is what this war is really about, brothers and sisters. I'm going to bring this all the way around full circle to the war we are about to go into today. It's on every level. This war is just not on a military level. It's on every level. Read.
Verse 7. And there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon. And the dragon fought and his angels, and prevailed not. Neither was their place found any more in heaven. And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world.
He deceived the whole world. Read.
He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. And I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, Now is come salvation, and strength, and the kingdom of our God, and the power of his Christ. For the accuser of our brethren is cast down.
Go ahead.
Which accused them before our God day and night. And they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb.
So when Christ was crucified, Satan had no more power to go before the throne and accuse the brethren. Read.
And they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb.
And we were overcame by the blood. So now through Christ's sacrifice, that stopped the war between God and his people. So from that point on, there will be a healing process to build the children of Israel again to one day take the throne. And they understood this. Read.
And by the word of their testimony, and they loved not their lives unto the death.
They loved not their lives to the death. That's why the Romans wanted to kill the disciples and destroy the disciples, because not only was the Most High setting up Israel, through this truth, paganism was being destroyed. We were separating the Gentiles away from their gods and were empowering our force in Christ. It was a spiritual battle between the pagan religion and the new understanding of Christ that could tear down any religion. The Romans wasn't going to go for it. They started martyring and killing the disciples. Read.
Verse 12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe unto the inhabitants of the earth.
Woe unto us that's living here in the earth. See, the angels are celebrating because Lucifer and Satan, he's not Lucifer anymore, he's Satan, cannot come before the throne and accuse the brethren anymore. They were tired of his wretched behind going up into the heavenly realm, accusing us. So once Christ took his blood and shed it over the heavenly tabernacle, Satan had no more realm to go in at sundown before the angels and before the Most High and accuse us. But that didn't stop him from coming to war against us and the earth and the Most High's creation. So he linked up with the Roman Empire with his technology and his science to destroy us. Read.
Woe to the inhabitants of the earth.
Woe unto us. Why?
And of the sea. For the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath.
Go ahead.
Because he knoweth that he hath but a short time.
Because Satan have a short time now, and Christ can be back any second now, he don't care what he destroy in his attempt to destroy the image of the Most High. He don't care if every animal on earth get destroyed. He don't care if the fishes in the sea get destroyed. As long as these people get destroyed, they're looking to totally annihilate the children of Israel. That's what this thing is about. Read.